Well, I did, but it was. Okay.
You notice hereby given that a special meeting in town of Laguna Vista, Texas will be held Tuesday, the sixth day of August, 2024, 5:30 p.m. The town of Laguna Vista City Hall. 22 Fernandez, Laguna Vista, Texas 78578, pursuant to Texas Government Code, section 551.127. One or more members of the town council may attend and participate via video conference. Forum, the town council will be physically present at the above meeting location. All items will be discussed. All the order at private invitation and
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. As always, Lord, we ask you to be with all those in our community, Lord, and around the world. So, strive and war to be with them and their families, Lord. And Lord, we ask you tonight to guide us, to give us your wisdom, Lord, and your grace as we make decisions on behalf of our community and our citizens. In their best interest. And Lord, we ask you to just please keep us safe from all evil and bless us always, and those who serve others, especially your son's name, we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. I the Texas flag, and pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God. Roll call.
Councilmember O'Meara.
Here.
Councilmember Howard.
Yes. Here.
Councilmember Tolan.
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez. Councilmember Pratt.
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Here.
Mayor Carter.
Here. Form at this time, the item is allowed 3 minutes per person to address the council on any topic. There will be no discussion. Action taken during this agenda item. Identify themselves with speaking and speaker request prior to the meeting. Nothing going on today. New business discussion, consideration, possible action for the following items. Item 1, capital improvement plan. Consideration and possible action regarding capital.
So council, I just wanted to bring this up and give it to you guys to start thinking about carrying over. We finalized this capital improvement plan back in 2021. I think it's the last time it was revised, and you'll notice on there a lot of things have already been taken care of. There's items that could still be taken care of. So as we go forward throughout the next, either the budget talk or throughout the next year, we wanted to think of what projects we might want to ensure and have as our capital improvement plan. So I just wanted you guys to, since we're going to be on the topics of money and thinking ahead, I wanted to give everyone this plan. So if there's any questions, and it's kind of what guides our big picture. And so I believe the last one that was passed was not sure what the resolution was, I don't remember, but we update it as we go forward with our projects, but it's just, this is where we're at with our current resolution. Our current capital improvement plan. So it's just there for mostly information, and if any of our newer council has questions or as we go forward in the next fiscal year, items we can update. And this will also, I think, be touched on when we do our comprehensive plan that we're doing with the GLO, the resilience plan, and in there as well. So in like a good time to look at, we've done quite a bit of things that are on there. So, you know, tap on the back to you guys as the council for sticking to the plan and getting it done. So there's no action on it unless somebody has something they want to change or add, but it's just part of it.
You're going to update it going forward.
Going forward, as we discuss anything in our budgets and our discussions the next month, or as is what we want, and update, you guys can decide what we want as our next capital improvement plans to be. So this is just basically starting letting you guys see it, letting you see where it's at, what we need to. I have the engineer and I are working to get a study together to give you guys an idea of what needs to be done in the city, what streets are left to be done, to be fixed. We have a couple that the GLO grant or the CDBG applications will touch because of the LMI. Any of the other streets have too big of an LMI, so they will fall under us to repair or correct. So the engineering firm that we hired is going to come out and do a kind of big overview of what's left to be done, what could be done to improve, and give us kind of a cost breakdown so you guys can see what it would cost to fix Lakewood, what it would cost to fix the street, what it would cost to fix, the more problematic areas. And hopefully he will be able to kind of rank it for us as far as this is the biggest, need or things like that. So that will help us also with as far as streets to go for you guys to make a decision. Some of the other things we'll talk about in the budget, just, it's such a small capital improvement plan. The police didn't even have their own. There's lots of things that we could do moving forward for a 5-year plan of what everyone's collective goal that. Sorry. There's a lot of
Do you have anything
ideas.
to say about it?
There's already been discussion around capital improvement plan. There's already been accomplished. Expecting instructors for
Beliefs.
you know that this building is aged and probably needs something else just for storm resiliency. We've been over here using that capacity in a situation. All about that. Something that I don't know if it's worth proposing to do anything with this building because of the talks.
There's hopes and dreams of further talks of eventually having something, this is not by any means official. This is just what I've heard throughout the times of eventually having something on 100 that has city hall and police, on the property that we have over there next to the ecotourism center. So that's kind of the pie in the sky thought process. The problem we have with this building is because it is so old and so out of code, the minute we touch anything on it, we have to bring it up to code. So it's not just expand here. We have to be ready to do a full remodel. And the one time I did have gallery come over here and just kind of give me information, just kind of pick their brain. They said it would be a building that they would consider demolishing and rebuilding because there's so much that's wrong with it that it would have to be, depending on what we wanted to do with it, what our goal was to get done. And so they said, obviously they didn't crawl up in the space or anything like that, but there was just so many things and it's so old and it's just patchwork after patchwork. We're already gonna need a new roof potentially. So it's getting that time. So I think it's absolutely something that needs to go into the plans. Same with, one of the things I want to consider is designating a fund for the fire engines, putting away money every year towards the designated fund. So I think our fire truck has about 5 to 6 years left on it. Más o menos. So those are anywhere around $500,000. So even if we put, $50,000-$60,000 away a year towards that, at least 5 years right now is from us for having to come up with, half the money for a fire truck. So just things like that. We have things that are coming up in the next 5 years that we want to be prepared for, building a better building for city hall and police. And so those are definitely things, but those will be things that you guys would need to decide and kind of give marching orders on what you want me to research and investigate for.
And something we've been trying to look at. Considered it moving into apartments building before he ever did anything with it. He offered it to us. Get the ADA standards. Lot next door, it's not big enough. Building on it. The only thing left is, I think it's next to urban center. Like build something out there like they have in those restaurants. Kind of like model it after that thing and I'll like management. So funding opportunities build. That's the only way it's gonna get, no way. New build, right? So I. So. Maybe that's, well, maybe a smaller bond to cover the 20% or whatever we have to do, but. That's something, you know, big in the next 5 years, 10 years, that I really would like to see done. That to be on this capital improvement plan is kind of like number one. This is something that we have to go after. We can have a new facility, better police, better EMS, fire, everything can be together as one. These other auxiliary buildings for. But it's pie in the sky kind of stuff. I have talked to a couple of people with the urgent care facilities, the standalone. Thinking about, you know, maybe helping us out in that endeavor. You know, but I don't think it's gonna happen until after the November election. Yeah, so we'll see what happens after that. That's the only really, that and the fire truck are the only two real orders. And then to make sure that our streets, whatever we haven't done, that we do. Right, but yeah, there's only a couple left.
Just a couple, yeah, there's just a
You know.
couple.
Then ditches, drainage.
And we'll have, whenever that report gets done, and like I said, that'll kind of go with the resilient, grant that you guys approved when we go through all of that. In addition to what I've asked the engineer to do, so you guys will have a good bird's eye vision of what's left, what needs to be done, all things considered where we're at sort of today.
But then also plan on replacement of vehicles. Like how old they are, what's the, you know, recommended turnover rate.
Yeah, it goes on mileage, so chief is always done one a year, and that's kept them pretty, as long as we plan on one a year, that's.
So we can tell, like, hey, we're gonna spend $100,000 a year for
For a vehicle, yeah, because I mean, what I laughed at this, I forget how much this one said, but we're spending, our budget now for one vehicle is 70,000, and I think in here it was like, are you sure a vehicle?
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same vehicle, but you know, just however many years later, so, oh yeah, patrol unit for 33,700, you know.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah, yeah, so, yeah. That'll buy the electric bike, you could do bike patrol. But so I'll just keep working on the improvements of this. I just, like I said, I wanted to get the ball rolling with everyone's thought process, and so we all kind of know. You know, obviously, have little pictures that we're working on, but just a big picture of where we want to.
There's a big picture.
Yeah, not next year, but
And I see on the list, they have the plan for the park on 100 that we're never able to do.
yeah.
But
On the okay, so on the improvement plan, you're on the drainage on. Drainage. This from Mesquite and Hallam. Is this coming from the grant that we got or no?
Yeah, so Mesquite, I think, is one of the ones that they're fixing, that would be this next one that's coming up.
So you're gonna change the dates, right? The
We'll change,
pages?
yeah, we'll change the dates, and then we'll obviously take off the ones that have been done, and
Right.
then I'll update it with hopefully I can put them with the name, right? If this one's the most critical. So, and obviously it's gonna be.
In the city hall on 4. So. The city isn't suggesting that we. The existing marquee here currently, to build another one on Highway 100, is that? The,
That's the first I heard when I had read through this initially, when I became CM, that's the first I had heard about it. I mean, I knew
I
about this.
don't remember ever making that.
this went in conjunction with. Trying to hold it in there, but then they decided they were going to build.
Then that can just come out
Okay.
all together.
And we did this.
So then that I think.
Yeah, so that one will just come out all
Yeah, I
together.
mean, these are.
Yeah, like I said, this is no way for, this is exactly as it is, as you guys approved it, I didn't change anything. I wanted you guys to see how good, I mean, I think you've done a lot of what you had said, and I thought that was really important to note that, you guys aren't just out here whim, that there's a plan, and you guys have followed it, and we'll just update it with what currently needs to be done.
Here's,
going forward.
here's the 1.5 million. It's the 8 acres. We even tried to buy the 55 acres.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right, well, I'll just, as I get the information, I'll present it back and I'll circle back with, once I get.
So you're gonna put on there for the city hall, I mean, I don't know, I know we've been thinking, I know we continue to say. Buying this kind, of course, we need to be physically sound as well and be conservative and all of that. But I feel like, as we put these improvements into the budget. You have like 50,000 for improvements for city hall, and like he was saying, if we incur something that you're gonna have to put double or triple into it, you know, I think that. The capital improvement plan for our town, maybe we should consider, already looking that way. It's important, I think it's important because,
we should focus our right now. Building, new city hall, new fire department.
yes, you don't have to
police
be putting
department.
into this, like, for we're wasting the money.
No, it's the bunch of stuff we're gonna talk about. There are, those things are in. As we go through this, as we finish out this month, maybe that would be the time to pull all that stuff in. And then,
But we're not gonna get that thing done. It's gonna take at least a year, two
Right.
years just to get the budget,
Right.
we just to get any kind of grant funding. And also long after that, but
Yeah.
at least we need to start focusing, I think. This is just gonna be Band-Aid, Band-Aid, Band-Aid. Nothing, and no improvement here until we figure out, and we just have to.
Right.
There's no way around it. I mean, it's.
And the good thing is we'll be able to get some grants. We should be able to secure some grants because we're going to put EMS in it. Nobody's gonna pay for, a city hall building, but we,
That's how Los Fresnos did it.
yeah.
They put EMS, police, fire all together. That's how they got a lot of that.
And I've got a great relationship building with Los Fresnos, and they told me that they'll help me, and I'm basically just like, tell me what you did, and so we're researching and doing, and so I agree. Put running shoes on it.
Anything else about capital improvement plan, anybody? Executive session. For the session in accordance with the open meeting act. Authorized by the Texas Government Code regarding any matter listed on the agenda pursuant to section 551. Deliberation regarding real property, 551.074, deliberation regarding some matters. 087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiation. This consultation with town attorney regarding statutory procedure for budget. Let's go into executive session. Motion made by Ms. Brack, seconded by Ms. Tolan to go into executive session.
Yes.
Councilmember Tolan?
yes.
Councilmember Cornelius? Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Mayor Carter?
Yes. Go into executive session. Active. And 6:30, executive session. There's no, nothing to discuss or take on executive session. For 2024-2025 fiscal budget consideration possible action on the 2024-2025 fiscal budget.
So the budget that you have sitting in front of you is figured on the tax rate that is actually the next item. So I don't know if we want to flip flop them because The budget that I prepared for draft is based on the tax rate.
And about a couple, same time, they go hand in.
Sure, okay. And you'll see under tab number 5, what we call the tax rate analysis. You'll see the spreadsheet, and it gives the section A is our current last year's rate, which our current tax rate last year was the 0.45124 or 454124. And that's what our council last year raised the tax rate with the intentions of not having to raise it this year. So that's why I figured it this way. So the other options, B, C, and D are just for your information, obviously for consideration. With every year, there's a no new revenue rate. So this is what the Cameron County property tax says would give us the same revenue that we did last year. You'll notice it's a drop in our actual property tax number, would bring the rate down to 0.417692. So we would bring in a lower amount of revenue, even though it says it's no new revenue if we were to just get that same amount as we would have last year. So it brings everything. And then the voter, you want to go with the voter approval rate? That's the one.
To explain it to,
Yeah, 'cause that's the one I stumble on.
sure, well, the voter approval rate is in for any city of Texas, is the maximum rate that a city may set, triggering a requirement election. Now, for smaller communities like Vista, that is not necessarily the trigger election to establish a rate higher than that. We can take advantage of what's called minimum rate, which for us has always been higher, but it's higher. Of course, it's higher. So that's a good truth there.
It's the,
That's
it's
the
the,
main premise.
it's 10 cents. Almost.
In other words, the town can actually raise the rate up to that amount without triggering an automatic. Instead, what would happen is it's back to the old system of what they used to call a rollback, where the citizens have a petition for an election established. So since our proposed rate of our proposal to keep the rate the same. Last year, of course, I'm always gonna say every year, legislature makes us all a tax increase. Since that falls in between the voter approval rate demonstrate, we can adopt it without necessarily triggering the auto.
So the what you have to consider is just the tax rate of keeping the 0.45 or 454. Then bring us to the budget and what I have all.
One of the things that recent legislature does, and we recognize all of the communities, if they're held to that standard, that other citizens only permits 3.5% increase. Hampshire, small. Instead, as long as you understand the point, it's that they'll allow you to go to a federal pays at least 500,000. Rather than being done by 10%. But it's called that because it's legislature recognizing. Wants every community in Texas to at least have a minimum opportunity to raise.
So going forward is based on the current tax rate. I'm proposing that there's a comparison between last year's expenses and this year's expenses. We will be able to well, our expenses will only increase by $5,291, include a 3% staff rate across the board. It will be, I am proposing a equity pay increase for our police officers. The now rate for police officers, the lowest rate is 50,000. Our rate for police officers is 45. So I'm proposing that we adjust the base salary for officer to be $50,000. And so to do this in the salaries to make it fair, every police officer would get a $5,000 increase. And then they would get a 3% adjustment on top of that. So that's the new salary. That's why you'll notice the increase for the salary in the police budget is more significant. is because we have to do the equality, wages. You'll also notice that court goes down significantly. We moved, Norma's salary from the court clerk under that to be being paid under city hall as, our city secretary rather than,
That's why the difference.
and that's why the difference between court and the city. And that she had to get raised up to, her and Crystal had to get raised up to meet the new Fair Labor Standards Act, and exempted. As, so that's the difference there. And I did bump the pay up for the library director. That is still in limbo, but I did bump it up, so we had some negotiation for that. But we haven't started interviewing for that position, but just to give us some negotiating room. And, our So, does anybody have any questions on the expenditures?
Yes. Okay. Explain the penalties and 65 to 4,408.
Can you tell me what
Two.
penalties and interest?
Yeah.
So this is what we get, penalties and interest from Cameron County when people have to pay their penalties and on the haven't paid any of the interest that they paid out something got. What Cameron County has collected on our behalf.
So we're estimating a proposed budget of 14.5.
That's what we got this year. So last year we, we've collected year to date 4,400, so our budgeting is 2,500.
On interest, 40 and 47000. Have interest on collected 14,385. What is that? Interest.
So that's like our bank accounts. We have the ARPA account that has all of
Money in there.
the money in there. And so that's why the interest is jumped to basically that ARPA account is sitting in there with all the money. And so that interest that we didn't have years prior.
So we are proposing $10,000 for next year.
Right, because we're spending, as we get the ARPA check spent, that balance will go down. So I don't want to overshoot it too much because I'd rather be conservative than.
Miscellaneous, 15,363.
So this was high, so you'll notice coming into next year, we broke it out. So when we do forest planes, we have been really heavy on trying to keep all the lots and doing forest planes. But we've got two big properties that are actually on the golf course that are owned by someone off the golf course. And so we started forest cleaning them and they would just rather pay our forest cleaning bill and it's really high and every time. And so we just clean it and file it, and then we bill them, and then we were hoping to file a lien, right? And so, but they just keep paying the bills, and so we ended up collecting quite a bit, and so so I broke it out because I don't like to have that much in miscellaneous, but normally we didn't, forest claims didn't
Right.
bring in that much money. So so I broke it out to that's why you'll see a new GL will come in for forest cleaning for the 12,000, and then just the back of 6,000. You know, that's anything from, you know.
On the next page.
Information requests, anything like that, that's.
Page 4. Especially done 16,125. We're going up to $20,000.
Okay, so,
Explain.
well, for one, our events are getting bigger. And they just start costing more. Last year, we didn't have near the sponsorships that we had in the years prior. There was a couple big sponsors that didn't sponsor the way they had in the years past. But then, one of the things that was being done, well, that should be done more efficiently is, we have donations, you'll see as revenue, we have the donations that would come in, and they were as revenue. So it's not, we would only budget 12,000, but then we would use our revenue that came in. So it's not that we're increasing it some, but we're just doing it on the books where it's cleaner, where it's a $20,000 expense. And we're not using our revenue to pay it. It's just cleaner on the book. So next year, so when you look at our revenue, it'll say 12,000 we budgeted, you'll have 12,000 that came in. And then I'm just gonna spend 20,000 out of here instead of us spending 12,000 out of here and then having to move money from our revenue account over to cover the difference. So it's cleaner bookkeeping. So that was being done differently years past, and I just trying to clean things up.
Promotional. Going from 13,000 to 15,000.
Again, our events are getting bigger. We're having to do more to advertise, doing things to, mailers, anything we're doing. Yes, those kind of special events, the promotional all kind of go in hand in hand. And so we're just giving us a little bit of cushion, so to speak, because of things going up, like I said, hopefully we can get to advertise, do bigger and better to get more or anything like that. So that's right.
Auto insurance, we went 20,000 to 2,000.
Everything went up, so we have our insurance bill for TML for all of our insurance, auto, the tech workman's comp.
So that's going down.
This should have went down.
Well, because it all goes into,
General revenue.
yes, so it actually is. So- No, but I thought we put it all into. Oh, okay, so yeah, that is too.
Typo?
Could be, but yes, so that needs to go up, because all of our insurance went up.
Right. Page 6. Why not?
Ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
It went down on what?
That should say 30.
Should say 30?
Isn't that what you
Thousand.
pay the
Yes. It should say 30.
$5,000? No. 500?
It says 2023.
That's wrong, no? Should say 24, 25?
It's on a lot of,
Why was there 18, 24, 25?
you increased it by $18,000. Keep that whole line total.
question. Says the Carlos salary down.
Overtime? Or the proposed overtime?
She went from 33 to 30.
Oh, that's not. Oh, yeah.
Double check. I don't know if she's gonna go down.
Okay.
They can make subtract.
Okay, so salary is right. This was budgeted the year prior. With this amount, that's not what she's actually working.
So it just wasn't updated, basically.
Well, we had approved more money than what we hired.
We budgeted for a position that was.
Yeah. Kinda like, yeah, so we
So it's not really actual.
it's her actual there. She didn't actually go down, it's just now matches the salary. You guys gave me a window or a.
On page 6, we have, postage, the books. You don't wanna budget for any of those?
The postage and the books, so the postage, we combined all, and so what police has never used any of their postage, we don't know why it was there, so,
Okay,
and the books and contingencies, we put it all in the training and, training, because usually it's all books for the training, it's all kind of combined, so and since it's such a small amount, $200, it just gives you divide it into, a different GL, so you don't have,
not anymore there.
you just moved it basically.
What, also, not gas, motor fuel. So we went, budget 36,290 and then proposed is 31,000.
It had, well, I mean, we haven't used, the 31,000 is really conservative compared to what we've actually, what our actual is. And we had, do you remember when gas prices went up ridiculous and we had to come into a, budget adjustment to get to the 36 for the year
Yes.
prior? So, it's not had to go there. So, one of the areas we thought we could come down on it and still be okay.
Will we be paying for gas for the ambulance?
No, that comes out of the, what we pay the EMS services for,
And that's on page 9, that's that 6180 contract services, or no, that includes.
service, the deputy, the medical director, the mass contract, and then
Salary or your contract services?
yeah.
Looks fine, it looks like the. That's some medical supplies. And flat.
I don't, because we didn't use, there was a surplus in there of what we didn't have to buy, because we didn't have to buy as much medical supplies, because we couldn't use them, so, I asked Chief Waters and, Chief Daniels, they thought that that would be a good place a good starting point, because we didn't use a lot of it this year, there was still a remainder, because we couldn't buy the medicines that we, so, that's why we don't have to increase it. And the ambulance will come with their meds, and he said that, yeah,
On page 12, park improvement match, 15.
so we remove that, so we had that,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll have it,
Sure.
we have it reserved
Fund balance.
What was that for again?
for the match for the roll-off grant, for the Texas Park and Wildlife Small Community Grant. So after the next fiscal year, we'll do the encumbrance and have it starting in the fund balance.
Then equipment on page 16, that also goes with the 20,000.
Yes, that pays for, we have to buy a lift every time we need to put the, or not buy, we have to rent a lift to, put the banners
Banners?
up and things like that, so that's where the event equipment is in.
The events are really more than 20. How much? How
So
much
all
is
of
it?
them together,
Just
all
just
four
off
of
the
them,
top.
we put all of them together, if we do. I would say we easily put $40,000.
40,000 to events.
And yeah, because you have to, half of the, I mean, the fireworks alone are 18.
Right.
you know, I mean, so.
But the
um,
attendance is wanting.
That's-
The attendance is there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a ton of, we don't, and they're all,
Do we charge for the
No.
booths, right?
started off, I mean, when we were never charged for, I think we'd make enough to really put a dent in it.
But not,
I don't think you get the, wouldn't get the vendors either.
no,
And we have places that call for our vendor list. That's top notch.
we do.
Along those lines, just how much it's successful and how they are with. Do we have, citizens who formed states going out and sponsors? Besides,
Committee. Not bad.
You volunteering? You volunteering?
I think that I will catch trouble if I want much more. But
Say that Parks and Rec board,
And that's something that I think they should be involved.
they should,
in. It's at
they
the,
should.
it's at the park and it's a recreation.
Correct.
So they were more interested in like park, like green space park stuff, like they didn't wanna,
But I think we should try to move that, that's part of their duty, is
Yeah.
also to put on, I mean, is to help to get revenue for the recreation for the town. And they have fun doing onion sack racing and stuff.
On capital outlay and available funds, I guess page 18. We talked about the renovations, to the library, check. A park, dog park, I know we haven't really considered. And we wanted to, right, but we considered the CDC to help that venture,
or which,
dog park.
no, we have not.
If that's an option to help that number.
Yeah.
Should, can we do that with the CDC? Let's nix dog park and move that to the CDC. But you know, we're gonna move to the CDC.
The
So
more-
who's gonna, so do you want the town to move to that for the app, that to be the applicant for the dog park, or do you want,
The town.
are you gonna have like?
Town to be on it.
Yeah, yes, the CDC paid for the
Park
coverage for the park.
Right. I just didn't know if you wanted the dog park group or if you wanted it to be the town.
Most of our CD's projects are town.
Well, that's,
And what about the police building and unit, you all kind of agree on that?
Which ones?
The police building and unit,
Yes, I need to move this.
where's the bay? And
it's in the building, right?
Right?
I included.
No, it's not in this page.
How much?
Oh, and it's put,
Oh, it's not in this page, it's in the other,
Over here.
sorry, I didn't give it to her.
Are we gonna do the world then with the bay too, right, to increase the functionality of the fire?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's gonna be
Yeah, okay with that one?
ambulance.
and then office remodel 15. That's just gonna be repairs.
Paris.
If we're looking at big picture stuff, we're not gonna know what's gonna happen. Because once we move the police department out of here, right, things might change in this building. Right, and so I would wait on that until after we see what. And then the library renovations,
That's Florida, no?
Yeah, it's the pouring part tire. It's to create the. Space. Or. Oh my.
but also,
I can always leave this.
Yes, no, we they have already.
We have an application
What?
pending in front of
The
the
city.
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 For the principal.
For the Friends of the Library has, the Friends of the Library has posted for $30,000 from the CDC to do the library remodel, the floors, the window that we're talking about, and,
They need another 20 then,
it's,
or they need 80 altogether.
no, it just, it'll depend on, they can get the basics done for, we're going to try to do some of it within the budget. Beforehand if we can, if the CDC wasn't planning on giving us, they told us no. And I said, well, consider posting it and then we can come back and talk about it again, because there were members missing. So we don't have high hopes that they're going to, approve it. I'm going to
With
try.
the budget.
So like this year, I'm going to take some of the building maintenance. The library has a strong, the healthy $10,000, I think, building maintenance. So we're gonna take and do the part of the flooring for the children's unit, the like children's area, and increasing the
10,000 is not gonna make.
for just the floor, like just that.
Just that,
just
this
where-
portion.
So
Okay.
where we're gonna take the little, the portable, the circulation windows, that will come down, it's gonna go somewhere more middle of the library, so that whole area is children's. So we can do the floor in just that area,
Okay.
within the, yeah. And then the rest of the flooring, and then the other amount that's in here is just some additional wiring that we're going to need, or potentially. But the fact that it's library E-rate may help us with some of some of those expenses. Connectivity, yes. And so there's wiggle. I want to pursue the library, but now that I'm getting into more library stuff, there's actually a lot of funding on the table that I didn't know about until about a week ago that I'm trying to get our heads wrapped around. So there's money that the Cameron County Library System that the Laguna Vista has been a part of for apparently years and years and years. And we get right now, there's a monthly stipend of about $1,700 a month that goes in there for us to use for anything except salaries and or actual construction remodel. However, it's a 501(c). If we come in with a plan that says, hey, we want to do this, we can get special permission for something. So if we want to like bank that money and use it to pay for something, with our money this year and next year, we can approach them. I'm meeting with them on Thursday to get more details about that group. But I think our balance was about we have about $20,000 sitting in there right now, the last statement that I saw. So I don't know how to, I say tongue in cheek because they won't pay for actual renovation. So, but get a lot of other stuff, the furnitures, the different things like that that'll pay for. We can take money and, all of, that's why I don't know if you noticed on the library budget, I took the entire books, budget off of there. They will pay, we send them those invoices and they will pay them directly. And this is money that they get from the county every year.
Yeah.
And,
Why don't we just leave the $50,000 off until we figure out what?
so what I actually need, and then I can always come back and ask.
Because
for
the other one, I think these are things that we need to decide we're gonna do, right?
Okay,
I personally wouldn't wanna use the 10,000 for the flooring, only because if somebody comes up, you're like, our AC broke.
that's what we have left this year. She hasn't had to use it this year.
What, the
So-
10?
So the 10. So I'm gonna do that before. I'm gonna use
Ah,
that right
what's
now
that?
before
Yeah.
we get that done.
Some of that this year.
Right, because it's already budgeted and I don't want to, and so we can, that way we can have the children's area
At least we can
remodeled.
encumber it.
See, yeah.
We can remodel.
This Cameron County Library system, is it a use it or lose it sort of thing?
No, it carries over. Yeah,
It's
so
a big chunk of change.
it's a lot. So I think after I meet with them, I'm meeting with the board president on Thursday and afternoon. So I'll have a better idea of what we have, and he's the Brownsville Library Director, who's actually also on the board of the health clinic. You guys actually met him.
Oh,
He
wow.
was here for, here for the health, one of the board members on the health, for the new health clinic. So he was super excited about our ideas of what we wanted to do to move forward. So he was on vacation last week, so we're gonna meet this week. So I think there's some, and then I think he'll have some opportunities and ways to give me that we can maybe move the library forward without this. So if you guys are okay with temporarily take it off the list so I can find and see what our other options are. T-Mobile also has a really cool grant opportunity that I think with connectivity, that if E-rate doesn't, come on board, that, the guy that
We have a lot of
was.
opportunities to do this.
Exactly. I just need some time
No
to.
one's gonna give us a new police building, and no one's gonna give us a new bay.
Yeah.
We get about $1,700 stipend a month. It all depends, every year it changes based on whatever the county, they do an application every year to the county. And then, based on that, I think there's 8 libraries in the coalition.
Gotta get more on the budget. Okay, so what are we gonna do?
All right.
We're gonna do building,
Building.
unit, fire bay extension.
Yes. Our big state.
There's $350,000 that we're gonna reserve for those specific projects,
Okay.
okay? So
Mr. Forsher.
at the final meeting, at the second to last meeting of this, you have to have a budget, and not like we have to have a, yeah, we have to do a meeting for the to designate these things out of fund balance.
Thank you, Mark.
And that should be part of the presentation that we use designated fund balance. Give a balance budget.
Yeah, right, that'll be its own.
$350,000. And also figure out those other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the balance.
The date.
So you have to correct. Anything else?
Yes.
Motion.
Until we do the business.
This is just talking about.
You know, we're in, big action, post action.
Good job, you guys, on the budget.
Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Five. Tax rate consideration of possible action regarding tax rate and setting public hearing.
Explained earlier, we have to have a public hearing on the tax rate to decide. So if you guys choose to go with the current last year's tax rate, which is 4.5124, I will place the ad in the newspaper tomorrow for the public hearing that we'll have on August 14th in conjunction with our first reading of the. And I don't know if we made the I mean, I assume, but I did not make the designation, is we have the M and O for our new INS, our INS came in this year, and this covers both. That designation. Our M and O rate would be the 6.4, and our INS. Totally the.
given our, given our discussions about, this, about our budget and the things we had to do and that, and to have a budget discussed tonight, I move that we, adopt the current / last year tax rate, 0.4541. No, there's.
No, not in this, one. Okay, final vote.
I'll say.
And I count trying to do the tax rate as discussed.
Councilmember Romero,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Councilmember Cornelius,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant, Member Hernandez.
Yes. Motion to adjourn. A motion made by Councilmember. Someone seconded by Councilmember.
Councilmember Romero,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Cole,
Yes.
Councilmember Cornelius,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Hernandez, Mayor Carter.
Yes.
John Young.
Good job, you guys.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for not.
All the time.
It's.